Good morning, teacher. Good morning, friends. My name is Roberto Guevara, and I'm going to talk about Ledipasvir and Sofosbuvir for 8 or 12 weeks for chronic HCV without cirrhosis. Definition: more than 3 million people in the United States are chronically infected with HCV. Although the number of new infections have been declining for years, HCV-related morbidity and mortality are projected to continue rising for another 20 years. One half to three-quarters of persons currently infected with HCV have not received a diagnosis and are untreated. Many will have progression to decompensated cirrhosis, hepatocellular carcinoma, or any other liver complications. Early diagnosis and treatment are essential to improve long-term health outcomes in this population. New guidelines from the Center for Disease Control, also known as CDC, and the Prevention and the U.S. Community Preventive Services Task Force have broadened recommendations for screening to include all adults born between 1945 and 1965. To accompany this expanded screening program, there is a recognized need for a simple, safe regimen of short duration that can provide high cure rates in a broad range of patients.
Chronic hepatitis C virus infection, or HCV, causes progressive liver fibrosis, which can lead to cirrhosis and hepatocellular carcinoma. An oral regimen that would treat patients infected with many of the possible viral genotypes was tested in this Phase 3 double-blind placebo-controlled trial. Treatment-naive and previously treated patients with HCV were enrolled at multiple sites in the United States, Canada, Europe, and Hong Kong. All of the patients were chronically infected with HCV 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6. Patients with and patients without compensated cirrhosis were included. Study participants received one tablet daily containing either Sofosbuvir and Ledipasvir or placebo for 12 weeks. The primary endpoint was a sustained virologic response 12 weeks after the end of therapy. Of the 624 patients who received Sofosbuvir Ledipasvir, 99% had a sustained virologic response. None of the patients given placebo had a sustained virologic response. 15 patients who received Sofosbuvir Ledipasvir had serious adverse events. The most common adverse events were headache, fatigue, nasopharyngitis, and nausea. The authors conclude that once-daily Sofosbuvir Ledipasvir for 12 weeks provided high rates of sustained virologic response in treatment-naive and previously treated patients who were chronically infected with HCV 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6, including those with compensated cirrhosis. Full trial results are available at nejm.org.
Okay, applications in medicine. Ledipasvir is an orally available inhibitor of the hepatitis C virus non-structural protein 5A replication complex with potential activity against HCV. Upon oral administration and after intracellular uptake, the Ledipasvir binds and blocks the activity of the NS5A protein. This results in the disruption of the viral RNA replication complex, blockage of the HCV RNA production, and inhibition of the viral replication. NS5A is a zinc binding and proline rich hydrophilic phosphoprotein that plays a crucial role in the HCV RNA replication. HCV is a small, enveloped, single-stranded RNA virus belonging to the Flaviviridae family. HCV infection also is associated with the development of hepatocellular carcinoma.
You've had a blood test called a hepatitis C antibody test, and the test has come back positive. This means the test found hepatitis C antibodies in your blood. At some point, you've come in contact with the hepatitis C virus. Hepatitis C is a virus that lives in the blood and can have serious effects on your liver, even causing cancer. Around 1/4 of people clear the hepatitis C virus on their own. Unfortunately, even if they do fight it off naturally, they can get it again if they put themselves at risk. There is no immunity to hepatitis C and no guarantee of being able to clear it a second time. Your doctor or health worker will have to do another test to see if you have the hepatitis C virus. This is called a PCR RNA test. If this test is positive, it means that you have the hepatitis C virus, and without treatment, it will be there for life. They will also discuss with you about when you think you may have contracted the virus.
So what will happen to me?
Most people living with hepatitis C don't feel sick for a long time, but slowly, over many years, they may get tired, run down, and unwell. This can make life a lot harder to live, and sometimes is very serious, even deadly. The good news is there's now a very effective cure that you can get from your doctor. There are new treatments to cure hepatitis C, and around 95% of people on treatment will be cured. Just be aware, even if you clear it or it's cured, you can still catch it again.
What is the treatment?
For most people, all it takes is one pill a day for 8 to 12 weeks and a few simple blood tests along the way. It's very important that you take your treatment every day until you complete the course. Unlike previous treatments, there are very few side effects. During treatment, your doctor or healthcare worker will do a blood test to see how you're going and if it seems to be working. After 8 to 12 weeks, you'll have finished your medication, and you'll have another test which we hope will confirm your hepatitis C is gone. The doctor will want to see you again a few months after taking your last tablet. There will be another test called an SVR test. This is the most important blood test, as this is the one that tells us if you're cured. But remember, this is a cure, not a vaccination, so you can get hepatitis C again if you put yourself at risk. If you become reinfected, that does not exclude you from further treatment.
How do you get hepatitis C?
Hepatitis C is only passed on through blood-to-blood contact. Most everyday activities do not pass blood from one person to another. Just living, working, and being around people who have it is not a risk. The most common way of passing on blood is by sharing any equipment used for injecting drugs. And you can get it from using unsterilised tattoo and body piercing equipment, or sharing razors and toothbrushes and ceremonial tools. So basically anything that passes infected blood from one person into another.
How do I stay healthy?
To make sure that you're cured, you must take the pills every day for the time your doctor says and have your blood tested when it's needed. Stay in contact with your doctor or healthcare worker. They're here to help you follow the treatment and answer any questions. Don't share anything that can pass infected blood from one person to another. And we all feel better when we eat well, exercise and cut down on the grog. Your liver will thank you for it. You can always call the people at Hepatitis WA on these numbers. And remember, there's always care and support for you when you need it.
Okay, pros and cons. Pros: taking the medication for 6 months or less is very effective against hepatitis C. Few side effects, most common are stomachache, tiredness, and headaches. Can be used in children aged 3 years and older. Available as a generic, which can be more affordable. Cons: it produces heartburn and stomach acid. Lowering medications can lower the amount of the hormone in your body. Not a good option for people taking amiodarone because the combination can cause slow heart rate. Doesn't treat all types of hepatitis C like other antiviral combos such as Epclusa or Myret. Interacts with some HIV antiretroviral medications. Okay, issue applied in Ecuador. Patients were enrolled between May 20th in 2013 and June 19th in 2013 at two towns in the highlands in Ecuador. Eligible patients were 18 years and older with chronic HCV genotype 1 infection without cirrhosis who had not received a previous treatment for HCV infection. Patients were required to have an HCV RNA level of at least 104 IU per millimeter at the time of screening. Alanine and aspartate aminotransferase levels of no more than 10 times the upper limit of the normal range, and platelet counts more than 90 per cubic millimeter, and a hemoglobin level of at least 11 grams per deciliter in the women or at least 12 grams per deciliter in the men. There were no upper limits on age or body mass index of the patients. They provided a written informed consent.
Hello, so here we are. This will be week 2, the end of week 2. July the 10th, I got my first round of blood tests after I began treatment. So far, everything looks good. I have 0 side effects, no energy issues whatsoever. My red blood count did drop from 13 to 12.5. And VA told me to be mindful of becoming winded or out of breath when climbing stairs. At 61, you get a little winded regardless, but I haven't experienced anything out of the ordinary. Basically, the blood tests are at the beginning, my HCV quantitation, it was 2.1 million. And as of July 10th, my HCV viral load is 0. Now, I'm not sure whether that viral load is a quantitation or qualitative. But either way, it's 0. So that's good. I am responding to the treatment so far. My ALTs dropped from 62 on the 28th of April down to 26, which is normal. My ASTs were 40. They are now 23. Again, right in there where they need to be. Bilirubin went from 1.7 to 2.8, but they said that was normal given my red blood count is being suppressed, so that's being processed by my liver. Nothing to be nervous about. And that's really about it. Like I say, there's been no real side effects from it. I seem to be doing well, but the down and dirty will come in December when I take my test to see if I've permanently responded. So I guess that's it. That's about all the blood work.
Okay, conclusion. Ledipasvir and Sofosbuvir for 8 weeks was associated with a high rate of sustained virological response among previously untreated patients with HCV genotype 1 infection without cirrhosis. No additional benefit was associated with the inclusion of ribavirin in the regimen or extension of the duration of the treatment for 12 weeks. Thank you.